Do you think older, experienced guys can get people more comfortable in front of the camera? I don't necessarily think so, because I've always been a jokester, right? I've always been a class clown, and if you can make people laugh, they'll loosen up. I don't necessarily think age comes into play with that. I think that is more of a personality thing. And try it, right? I'm gonna tell you an exercise you can do to get people used to talking in front of cameras. Go talk to strangers. Have a polite conversation. Hey, how you doing today, man? Just go have a random conversation with strangers. If you can make that stranger feel at ease, then you can make somebody in front of a camera feel at ease. So I'm just used to talking to everybody. I kind of like messing with everybody. So it translates over to me being in front of cameras, and I'll just kind of tug at everybody. If I'll have an interview with someone that's at a desk and they got a Chicago Bears sticker, I know how to mess with them. You think the Bears gonna go all the way this year? Last year they got beat bad by Green Bay. How you feel about, so another trick to that is make people talk about themselves. People like to talk about themselves, and that'll make people comfortable. They let their guard down when they feel like you're interested in them. Do I think a physical location matters? It's funny because I talk about this in module 3. I'm not big on physical locations. Unless you're doing family portraits, which I really would be careful. I wouldn't do a physical location because it's too much overhead for what you can bring in portraits. There's some alternatives I have to that, like renting space or a van, but I wouldn't be interested in a physical location. Corporate clients don't want to come to your location. What's convenient about and what adds value is the fact that you can shoot in their location. They're already losing money by having clients or having their employees stop working to take pictures, do video, whatever it is, the project that you have in place, they're losing money. And that's something that a lot of content creators don't think about. They're losing money to send them down to your shop. It's a lot easier to pull them off that computer for 10 minutes to come and say this line and go back to work. So having a physical location on your end feels like I'm doing them a favor, but really you're causing more harm than good. And it's something that I learned talking to a corporate office that was like, hey, I really don't want to pull 30 people. Like headshots, corporate headshots. You think like, oh, location is, nope. I close every corporate headshot, like large corporate headshots, not just 2 people, but a team of 50, and do the math on that. We're talking about $100 to $75 a head. I've closed more by saying that I can set up in your break room and shoot than saying, hey, all of you guys come to my location. Me saying I can set up in your break room and bring all of my lighting. And in fact, here's some great images I've done for previous clients. And we did this in their break room. That way you don't have to have people miss work to come take photos. We can schedule 15-minute increments and we can send a certain amount of people down, and your day still goes as planned. Because when they're getting 30 people off the desk, they're losing tens of thousands per day. Not a good look. If doing something like senior high school photography, you feel like it's a challenge to keep up with the young kids' styles they like for photos as you get older. Okay, yes and no, Cedric. So this is something that is, you have to be very, very creative when it comes to it. You got to kind of push the envelope. To be special at senior photography, you got to offer something different, right? Like I've seen photographers do like crazy jumping photos or slow motion confetti video. Like I've seen people do different things. You just got to be different with it. And you got to match what they're doing. What are kids doing on TikTok? What are kids doing on Snapchat? What are kids doing for poses? And you got to be creative with it when you approach that industry. And this is the thing where being older helps in that industry, right? Who's paying for these pictures? It ain't the kids, it's the parents. You'll be able to say, hey parent, I'm gonna get some crazy shots for them, but I'm gonna get the ones you really want because they're paying for it. I don't care what I'm not gonna say you don't care what the kid thinks, but everybody who shoots weddings know to find the person that's paying for the wedding. If a bride and groom tell me their parents is paying for it, I'm gonna go talk to them and say, hey, is any other shots that you want? And trust me, listen, I've done this and I've had parents shove hundreds of dollars in my shirt pocket. Like, here's a tip. I'm like, yo, I'm like, oh, well, what's 100? Oh, I'll take that. Okay. You want to make sure that you can relate to both. And being older, you can do just that. Being younger, it's a little more difficult. Ty, would you use subdomains to essentially create separate websites for your niche, or keep it simple and just use one website for my 2 to 3 niche? I would definitely use subdomains for landing pages. And I've used subdomains plenty of times. In fact, on my website, Flashfilm Media, if under photo.flashfilmmedia, you'll see what we do as far as photography. Video.flashfilmmedia, you'll see what we do as far as video. And then I'll create landing pages that aren't available to the public so that when I do advertising, I can take you through a certain page. Like I have a landing page that's dedicated to live streams due to COVID. Hey, don't cancel your event. We offer live streaming. We can still get your event to the same amount of people. And I'll have a landing page, which may be live stream covid.flashfilmmedia.com, something like that. It's not available through the website. It's available to the public, but only through that marketing campaign, that advertising campaign. You want to definitely use subdomains to definitely help your business. Plus, Google look at subdomains. And if you have Dallas area photography, they take that into account. Whoever you hire to do your SEO, definitely look at and make recommendations. You don't want your subdomain to be random letters at whatever. You want to make sure that it is in line with your target audience and what you're going after and looking at. What tools do you help you nail exposure? I finally got a small HD 502 bright with waveform, and it's changed everything. I like false color. False color is my friend. Invest in a good monitor. Get false color, get waveform. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this real quick. I challenge you to do this. Before you think about buying a new camera, invest in gear to help you get the most out of your camera. Invest in a good monitor, right? And don't just get a good monitor and be like, it looked good. Go take a course on understanding waveform monitors. Go take a course on understanding how to read false color. Go take a course on understanding how to use X-chart, right? Go take a course on how to properly correct color. I guarantee you that your iPhone footage will look 10 times better if you have that understanding before you go out and chalk it up to the camera. So many people want better dynamic range, but you don't know how to use the dynamic range you have, right? Everybody want 18 stops and raw, but a lot of people don't know how to use what they have. They're not fully getting the most out of their current camera. So make sure that you are investing in understanding how to work with what you have before you give Sony and Canon your money, because they're advertising you, telling you it's your fault that you're not getting the pictures that they have. What they're not telling you is that you're not spending the right money in areas to invest in this to get the most out of that camera. The camera can only do so much. Your understanding of how to set manual white balance, the difference between the picture profiles and gamma and no gamma and S-log, your ability to properly expose in camera is one of the most valuable things you can learn to help your video go to the next level. So many people get in this industry and they don't properly color grade. They don't properly white balance. I see yellow stuff all the time. So I challenge you, before you buy some gear, spend money in being better at properly exposing or getting the best image out of what you have. How do you find good contractors? Sometimes I think I'm too picky, but it's hard to find good help. I'm gonna tell you what the problem is 75% of the time when it comes to finding good help. One, you're not attracting good help because you didn't set a price point that's high enough to attract good help. We want good help for cheap. You have to pay people. And you got to do one or two things. You got to either provide them with a situation that is valuable, whether it be a learning experience, or you need to pay people. Or sometimes you need to do both. If the NFL needs a photographer, they can put $0 and 0 cents. Everybody and their mama would be down there to line up. If you're shooting a high school football game, nobody's going to do it, or very few people will do it. Hey, keep in mind that the video you just watched contains clips from a longer lecture that's available to our gold members at flashfilmacademy.com. You can go to flashfilmacademy.com to watch the complete lectures if you want to get all the gems and all the information, or you can stay on the channel and continue watching some of our content here. Just click one of those boxes somewhere around here. You know where to go. Right up in here, somewhere, wherever it pops up, you know what to do. You got this.